I'm Ravi Kapur in Las Vegas after the 9th Democratic debate, the first one featuring Michael Bloomberg, the former New York City mayor, who has been spending money like wild trying to get his message out there, some $300 million to date, and that's led to a surge in his polling. Thus, all the other candidates still vying for the Democratic nomination came after him hard. And while there were no knockout blows levied, certainly there was enough fodder for each campaign to come away saying that they have a path forward. Afterwards, we had a chance to talk to both the Bloomberg and the Sanders campaigns, who made some remarks recently about India. Mayor Bloomberg brought up India, actually, in the debate, which surprised us in a comment about climate change. Obviously, it was directed about China, but he mentioned that India had climate change issues. Why did that come up? Because India has done some very aggressive things about climate change of late, and China is by far a bigger CO2 polluter than India.
Well, I think it's a collective, issue. It's all countries that have to work better together to reduce our carbon footprint. One of the biggest countries in the world with one of the biggest populations is India. I think that Mike was bringing that up as an example, but I think there are other, countries like he mentioned, China, Brazil, the U.S. certainly that can do more when it comes to climate.
Sure, but I mean, 27% CO2 emissions for China, 7% for India, 16% for the U.S. I mean, it's a pretty stark comparison, and India just banned single-use plastic in Mumbai,
right,
which is a really impressive, aggressive thing. I just saw that having gone there myself. So talk about the climate change initiative and the mayor's work in India. I mean, I know he's got a global business. How much of his business is tied to China versus India?
Well, I don't think it has anything to do with China versus India. I think that these are two countries that have big populations that, can do more to reduce our carbon footprint, do more to tackle the issue of climate change, the existential threat of climate change. And I think he was just making a point on the stage that, India, China, the U.S., we all can do better, but America used to be the leader in this issue, and we're no longer that leader. So we can do better, and we just need to keep going. Senator Sanders made some remarks at the ICNA event that really rankled a lot of Indian Americans in particular, many of whom may have supported him in 2016, who believe in what he brings to the table but are upset maybe about his potential India policy. Do you have any thoughts on that? Because that's something I hear about frequently.
Well, to understand Bernie Sanders as a person who is of deep moral conviction about how he looks at foreign policy. And sometimes he's going to speak hard truths to people. When he sees an Indian prime minister or an Israeli prime minister or a Pakistani prime minister who's acting unjustly toward minority populations in their own country, he's going to say something about it, irregardless of the politics. Don't come and tell me about politics when there's a moral cause at stake. Are people being treated unfairly and unjustly? And I think in Bernie Sanders, you have somebody who speaks with moral clarity to that issue. I think it is one of the reasons why I believe he'd be a transformational president, not only for domestic policies, but in building international bonds with people all across the world who will see in this person, I may disagree with him, I might not see these things the same way, but I know he's a person of authenticity who's coming to these issues with a high degree of honesty and a person of moral conviction.